look at our game. Alright, in the top left-hand side, we're going to start it off with the blue Protoss player. This is MaxPax here on our currently least played map of the tournament. In Territors, his opponent in the bottom right will be the red Terran, Team Liquid's Clem. This map... When did we see this map on previously? Let me see if a Dark versus Spirit... Oh, this was the opening map of Dark Spirit. That was a pretty good game between Dark and Spirit on this map, actually. Yeah, this map was pretty cool. Alright, I'm excited to see what goes on. Let me actually talk to you guys a bit about the map, because I'm even a little bit unfamiliar with it, just because we've not really had it played so much. So there's two ridges through the middle of the map, as you can see, one running up this right-hand side, and just kind of creating this very centralized high ground on both sides of the map. Well, central low ground, surrounded by this kind of like a valley in the middle of the map, surrounded by those high grounds, which has a lot of bases online. Small ramps outside the natural expansions blocked by weakened debris. So this over here creates an extra access point later in the game when that gets knocked out. Yeah, so generally you do have just a lot of aggressive positions to take here on Territors. I think you can really move across the map quickly, easily. It does come from the rush category, so it does encourage those more aggressive plays and those more aggressive games in general, as our Marine just helped to get rid of our probe to start. It was actually the SCV. Oh, wait, what actually got the kill on the, What got the kill on the probe? Probe died, but nobody has a kill. Am I crazy? Another SCV show up? Oh, this SCV has the kill. Go SCV. Okay, good job, buddy. I found you in the end. As we do have Zealot showing up, though, very quickly, so it is going to be aggression from MaxPax. Well, you could have seen this one coming a mile off. Any kind of shorter map, and immediately you're going to have MaxPax trying to take advantage of that. The bunker is going to go up. Clem is absolutely correct to get this bunker up early. He did skip the Reaper in order to have a Marine first. This does give him a faster factory. It does give him a faster reactor as well, as we do get the Marine in the bunker. The Zealot's still alive for the moment. And we've seen our Adept is going to shade up towards the high ground. Just going to be seeing the Twilight Council still building, and well, that is going to be our follow-up here from MaxPax. But all of this pressure initially starting to add up a little bit. We will nab ourselves a Zealot to start. And now a couple of these Adepts are going to be in trouble as well. We are going to get some more SCVs still. Going to get rid of one of the Adepts, though. And do we kill this other Adept before it gets a shade out? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the shade is allowed to go off, and the Adept will be able to save itself. So the Adept is going to save itself there. But what was the final outcome of that? 3 SCVs, a bit of lost mining time, obviously lost amongst those SCVs. They ran around a little bit of a delay on the CC as well. Just generally a very solid, disruptive opening out of MaxPax, right? Did a really good job, I think, across the board of just doing what he needed to get done here. Yeah, I would just say just a very good job in general as our Hellion continues down to the bottom right. So going to be heading down over here. Couple gates coming through. Blink is about halfway done. We just have our 2 Adepts of MaxPax working down this direction. A couple of Adepts will make their way forward, and Marines just chilling on the natural. Hellions pull away just to try and stay safe and stay hidden a little bit too. We've got 4 Hellions. You would like to kind of make this as surprising as possible when they show up on the other side. You know, the initial Hellion seen earlier, not too surprising. The extra, a little bit surprising is, we just let an Adept in the main base. Unnecessary mistake from Clem. That just means he gets straight in with his Adept, a bit of extra information to be picked up on. And generally, you're very happy about that as we do and get that Adept taken down, taken out. But yeah, I mean, nice little bit of additional info. I mean, you get to see that there's, you know, factory with the tech lab, but there's not been any unit out of it yet. You see the starport, still building and so on. So it kind of tells you maybe that other things have been building up until this point, although for the moment, MaxPax just moves straight across the map. The instant siege tank from Clem seems very important to be able to hold on against these incoming Blink Stalkers. Prism loads up one adept. Just going to be seeing a few more Stalkers warping in. The Hellions are unloading to the corner of the base. Oh, he cancels the warp in so he can warp in at home. That's actually massive, because without the warp in at home, he has no DPS against these Hellions. As we blink forward, are we going to start saving these Hellions and take them to the natural? Yeah, that's a classic move from Clem. It's one of the things he's very good at. He does lose his tank on the high ground. Yeah, this is why it's very good from Clem, and why he loves this build, because he's so good at controlling these Hellions and making the most of them. Look at that. He's going to get one more shot as well. 19 probes killed. It's massive damage done early here out of Clem, and MaxPax is going to be reeling on the tail end of this as we do come forward. The bunker taking a little bit of damage. SCV's pulled forward to get repairing a little bit. 19 probes, 3 SCVs. I mean, that is MaxPax down by 14 workers, and he didn't do too much with the first round of Stalkers. Let's see if he can do anything more now. He's going to warp into the main base. He's going to play with 2 different clumps of Stalkers. This is a bit dangerous, but I guess he can walk and blink out on the left-hand side quite nicely as SCVs true what they can to buy some time on that bunker. It's living. The bunker survives. That's massive. MaxPax loses multiple Stalkers before he backs off. Oh my goodness, what a save by Clem on the bunker. That is absolutely huge. Just maintaining a little bit of extra defense here. A little bit of extra safety just goes that little bit extra, and we do see Marines pushing forward with the bunker taking the attention of the Stalkers. So much damage on this bunker that's just been repaired out of the game. That is absolutely huge, as a few more Stalkers will pop out from that prism, and we do see our Stalkers ready to jump on into the main base in a moment or two. So I'm just going to hop up into this. Our Marauder gets picked off. Our tank is going to get rid of a couple of these Stalkers here. Just continue to ping around. Just going to have our Marines moving across and going for some of these Stalkers as well, as just really doing what we can. Prism is going to get pushed out of the base, pushed down to the low ground. Observer still just on the edge. Needs to be a little bit careful, and Marines come through to quickly put a little bit more damage onto that as well. The Stalkers are going to blink up one more time here. Tank and Biofire is going to be too much, and MaxPax accepts that this is not going to break Clem. And hence he types GG. He doesn't have much other... I don't know, as we have in the bottom left. A blue Protoss player who is down a game. This is going to be MaxPax looking to fight back here from Psystorm Gaming as we enter Sleepwalker. On the upper right-hand side, our red Terran from Team Liquid. This is Clem. Game 2 of our best of 3 series. And Sleepwalker coming in from the macro category. This one's fun. I like this one. Sorry, not the macro category, the standard category. Macro, standard, kind of the same, apart from, macro's a little bit more kind of like, meant to go longer game and stuff. Yes, this was one of the Morass maps, 14 bases, no overlord pillar at the natural, not going to affect TvP. And, yeah, I said this earlier, but Morass just is very good at making some very solid standard macro-focused maps, and I feel like a lot of our entries in this competition are exactly that. And this is one of them here. Just kind of taking, nice base layouts, kind of doing some fun stuff in the middle, doing some different things. And you can see on the middle of this map, there's, some defined, very defined pathways with quite a few little dead air pockets. There's base points outwards as well, which could be interesting later in the game. And you have these rocks to open up the middle of the map a lot more at a later point too, whenever the players seem to deem that worthwhile. Correct, coming up. Command center coming through, orbital on the low ground, as we do have our probe getting a little nibble on an SCV. Correct, still coming through, and we do have our factory building up as well. It's just getting all of this up and running, all of this getting underway here. Is there a sort of financial incentive for map makers, or do they run on pure passion? Pretty much only the map contest. And I think the map contest still has a prize pool for map makers. If you get a finalist, you get some prize money, but it's very, very minimal. I mean, for the amount of time and love and effort they put into these maps, it's very much so a passion thing versus the very small amount they make from, the contest. Map making community is like is really truly a very passionate one. We have a lot of these people have been making maps for years upon years, and they're still here giving us some great maps to play our games of StarCraft on still, right? It's also really difficult to get a finalist. Yeah, of course. I mean, there's like hundreds of maps get entered into the contest, and then 16 become finalists. It is incredibly difficult. And you have a limit on how many maps you can enter, so you can't just be like, you can't just like spam all your maps in. You have to really decide which of your maps think are going to work the best and which are going to get seen the best. But if mine burrows up, Marines are going to come over. Adept is going to go down. I guess it's also fun to see your maps played. So that's kind of like self-fulfilling, but yeah, I mean, obviously it's still a kind of a passion thing, right? That can help to keep the passion burning. Do you have an adept just going to go shading by through the natural expansion? The medevac has a couple of mines that will come across the other side, so Clem going to begin to make a move out down to the bottom. Still coming into the center, a couple mines still in the medevac, just going to be seeing the barracks, engineering bay, Raven, tank, all of this being set up for the moment here. It's amazing, didn't know that SCT map makers were this active and passionate. Oh, it is awesome, the map community. I mean, they have a full-on very active Discord and everything. I think one of the coolest things is, like, you can really tell they love making their maps as well, because every single time you run one of these tournaments, all of the map makers are always here in the Twitch chat watching the games, waiting for their maps and getting the chance to see them. Like, it's not like they just submit their maps and whatever. Like, they really are committed to it. They're really passionate, and they're watching because they want to see what sort of changes they can make to the maps based on these games in the next phase of the tournament. Because after this, there is an iteration phase before the maps get finalized, and that's a chance for map makers to be like, hey, this set of rocks didn't work or something, or that kind of sucked. Let me just change that. So yeah, that part of it's very cool as well. As you do see our Stalkers trying to break through on this side, but not really seeing too much success. Good defense from Clem here. MaxPax has a third base, charge, and forge on the way up, so already looking to the future in a big way. Stalkers continue to fight. A few of these SCVs already going down. 3, 4, 5 workers. Nice play. I mean, the Prism and the few Stalkers really getting a lot done. That's a nice little catch towards the end. A nice little bit of additional work to actually get some damage done at all, because obviously it wasn't looking too pretty at first. +1 attack on the engineering base. Impact coming through. We just have ourselves the Bioforce readying up. And got ourselves a few Stalkers chilling out. +1 attack and charge continue through. We have our Viking in the corner, going to hit that Prism, and the Prism has to recall out of there. So it does recall out, it does get away. Still just seeing our bunker hanging around, a few more tanks getting set up. Gateways, charge, and +1 are going to be the future for us here. Sorry guys, just a quick issue over on the other game, just had to quickly check on that. But we do have the transition coming up here from MaxPax. Our Storm coming up, +1 starting. All of that coming through. As our combat shield, our +1 coming up here as well. Stalkers hanging around, couple mines moving around. Raven and begin to take some shots. Bio Army will begin to stim through those Stalkers, getting pushed away. And the Vikings still kind of patrolling over on the edge of the Stalker, just chilling. that Stalker stuck behind those minerals from the blink? It kind of seems like it, no? 100%, okay, that's funky. Joke's on you, Stalker, you shouldn't have blinked there. Storm's massive here for MaxPax, he needs it. Feedback on the Raven and Storms on this army is absolutely a way for him to see a very solid future as the Viking. Already going after the Prism. Prism taking a few shots, obviously. We see the Bio coming through, a couple Stalkers continuing around. It's going to be seeing the Viking going to get that Prism in the end, and the rest of this Bioforce still coming over. That's a massive storm to eat. Huge storm onto that army. More tanks taking some shots as well. We are going to see the Bioforce from Clem once again trying to move up here. Bio knocks down those rocks. The rest of the Zealots coming through. Have you seen a couple of Widow Mines still set up, and this army of Clem sits strong down on the low ground. It's going to get the Matrix down on the Immortal. Just going to be seeing our Zealots from the other side. Actually going to hit pretty hard by the Widow Mines, helping the tanks to survive that little bit longer. Clem, yeah, doesn't have enough power. Anti-armor missile on the back units means that he's not really taking advantage of it. And that's why MaxPax can continue to push forward here quite comfortably. Zealot is going to go down, down, down. Prison coming up. Archon still being brought in. There's a Forge coming up as well on the side of MaxPax. So once again getting this up and running. Zealot is going to get chunked as we have a few extra Zealots just warping in. +2 attack is going to be finishing momentarily. Double Robobay, bit of a mistake from MaxPax as he gets a bit flustered perhaps. Obviously that Robobay important. I wonder if he wanted to build a Robobay and a second facility, and now he's accidentally built 2 bays. You know, because to have double Robo production at this point would generally be a pretty standard thing, something that can definitely help you out. MaxPax around the right. Zealot Stalker gonna push up. Couple of Marauders taking a shot. Widowmine shot hits good as well. Bio Stims. High Templars. Do you have Storm? Obviously, MaxPax is in the kind of good position where Clem kind of has to fight into him to protect his natural. MaxPax gonna hit the left side with a few Zealots too. They melt very quickly. No armor upgrades means Zealots are really not that great. Kind of funny to see +2 attack from the Protoss and no armor when it's so Zealot heavy in the army. That Viking trying to kill the Prism, and it's currently working. That Prism is getting very, very low. Now the Viking just runs straight into Stalkers as the Storm does land a little bit too far forward. That Prism still being alive is massive. Keeping on Micron, and now the Warping as well. I think Clem's losing a little bit too much here, especially as he loses a bunch of the SCVs. His orbital command is under fire. He's got so many mines that are just not getting into action because his opponent is just not moving in toward them. That Bioforce continues to come through. The Zealots keep on being chased. We scan and grab an Observer as well. So the High Templar drops down, lifts up, trying to decide what to do. We lose the Sentry. And again, Marines and a Ghost moving into the bottom side of the map. Mine drop down the bottom as the medevac just gets shot down immediately. Well, that was very short-lived. Clem really needed a little bit of something here. As you see a Bioforce coming through, Pylon will go down. Got more High Templar, Colossus, Zealots, all producing +3 attack and the extended thermal lens. Important upgrade still coming through from MaxPax, and overall, Clem is still under a lot of pressure. These 2 mines help a lot to negate this Zealot attack. But that's the problem. If MaxPax can just keep on leading a couple of Zealots into mineral lines every so often, there is likely going to be a lot of success coming out of that. So I think that's going to be one of the issues, as you do have the army of MaxPax moving through the center, moving forwards. And get on top of this base over here is our Ghosts, and everything from Clem is just out of position. Couple EMPs go down. Zell's taking some shots. Storm going down as well. It's going to get a couple more of those EMPs coming into play, and another storm also coming through as our Bioforce has to keep on kiting back. So let's go to the top side. Army going to go around the right here. Going to move up once again. Zealot's going to try and jump on this force. Bio turning around. A couple of these Zealots getting picked away at. More Zealots warping in. Whilst that shot's decent to begin with. Now some Stalker shots decent also. One more Storm onto this Bioforce. A couple of Zealots going to continue forward. And we do see GG's from Clem. He's eventually going to get overrun here. And we are going to go into game number 3. Alright, well, Clem, game 3. On the bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. And the top right is going to be our red Protoss player, MaxPax. I guess you should be paying more attention and vote. You should absolutely vote. Yeah, no, 100%. Get your say in. Let people know what your favorite map is. I'm gonna get a woody wallpaper and put it on my wall. Wow, I mean, all these merch ideas I could be capitalizing on, huh? Well, we saw Solaris not so long ago. I talked about the idea of these acceleration zones allowing you to run around corners more easily. Let's see if that comes into play at all here in this TvP. As, yeah, we'll get ourselves setting on up. And see where we go with all of this. I think this map's cool, honestly. I would love to see some longer games and really see if those acceleration zones can make a bit of a difference. Exciting. Couple SUVs come through, probes getting nibbled at. Up command center down on the natural. Clem going to get that ready as well here in the early few moments. That probe goes zooming through the map once it hits the zoom mode. You guys ever seen a probe run so quickly? I love acceleration zones. Like, acceleration zones are fun, silly, but not completely ridiculously broken or anything. Like, I really love them. I really feel like more acceleration zones in SC2 would only be a good thing. I really think they're such a great thing to have added on into maps and stuff. I don't know, they're just cool, fun, different, you know, there's a lot of reasons to like them, I feel. Reaper comes in, Probe's going to take a little bit of a nibbling off this Reaper as the Adept finally popping out to push it away. So this Reaper will get pushed back now. It's going to turn around. Thermal Marine still coming up as well. It's just getting all of this still coming through for the early stages. As Adept gets in, and we are going to get some SCVs. Reaper Cliff not good. Oh, the Reaper got stuck? Sorry guys, I was hosting a game on the other screen, as you can probably tell. Wardy didn't even comment out. Yeah, I was literally hosting a map on the other screen. I was like, ah, early game, Reaper's fine. So the Reaper just got stuck on the cliff. Feels bad, man. We'll take note of that. We'll pass the feedback along. Wardy doesn't even go. Yeah, I just thought it was absolutely safe to look to the other screen and just fully focus on hosting the game for a moment instead of instead of anything else. Oh, yeah. If I thought something exciting was about to happen, I would have kept a sharper eye on this screen. Okay, right. Well, we do have a Cyclone picking off one of the Adepts here as the initial bit of pressure. Coming around, nothing too crazy. Ponpoc upon. Thank you so much for the 10-month resub on the Prime. Thanks for the great stream. Thank you so much for the great support. I really appreciate it. Marines tank coming through. We do have this blink coming up as well. A few extra stalkers continue to set on up, come through. Again, just going to see that stim pack coming in as well from Clem as our attack is ready to go. 4 gates of blink stalkers going to ready up to get very aggressive here. There's a few stalkers ready to hop toward the main base. 4 more stalkers warp in underneath this warp prism, so that's going to be a pretty hefty deal as our stalkers ready to jump up on the side of this base. Ready to move up into the main. In we go. Tank takes first shot at these stalkers. Marines starting to fight back. Just going to be seeing the stalkers in general taking a little bit of damage, and we drop a tech lab in the main as well. Nice little catch there. The prism continues to load up these stalkers, and Iron is just going to come stemming forward. Is he going to chase? And oh, nice little pickup on the final stalker there. That might have taken a marauder shot to the face and would have gone down. Pretty reasonable defense, right? Not too much loss from Clem. Don't speak too soon, Warrior, as the bunker gets jumped on. The tanks are just out of position. One siege is on the ramp, but the other is now blocked. We're going to siege both of them on the ramp. That means that you can't actually move units up into the main base right now. We do kill the obs. Remove some of the vision then that MaxPax has in terms of being able to make good choices. I mean, obviously MaxPax still holding out pressure on this side of the map, but it feels as though Clem is getting to the better stage of this now, where he's more or less shut this down. He's more or less cleaned this out, keeping himself in a pretty reasonable position as we do have our stalkers still splitting up, thinking about what they can do in the next couple moments. Stalker's taking a few more shots, obviously getting a couple more SCVs, keeping this pressure up as we get the Robo Bay up behind all of this. We get ourselves into the extra gates, the charge. All of the tech MaxPax needs for a successful mid-game is being invested into while he's keeping Clem busy here in this bottom left-hand side. Robo Bay +1 charge, all of that's still coming up as we do have our medevacs boosting through the south. We'll have our medevacs here just going to lift back up, going to go back over the left-hand side. So again, keeping pretty active throughout these early stages. MaxPax really not letting Clem kind of go a moment without something happening towards his bases. Clem is obviously really sticking back at home as well. He's not going to move out too soon. He's just going to sit tight, wait it out. So army moves towards the center. Scan goes down. The observer gets picked off. Stalkers will be turning around, blinking back away over to the right-hand side. Some of these zealots are going to start moving through, and a couple of mine shots beginning to go off, getting rid of a couple of zealots immediately. We do have our prism in the main base going to get locked onto by a cyclone. We nearly get rid of, not quite though. Can we actually get this prism? Oh my god. This prism is just a master at staying alive. It's so frustrating because if you knock the prism down, it's so much safer for you moving on the map as well. Whereas now you just know it's an immediate threat. Yeah, you could have built another prism, but if you're building another prism, that's your robo build time used up. Typically, you don't already pre-build another prism. So it just gives you A, a certain amount of time, and B, your opponent has to still make the investment into rebuilding it, which can then do good things for you otherwise. So, yeah, not catching that. A bit of a shame for Clem. He does knock down some of these central rocks. Looks like we're going to have a fight breaking out near some of these acceleration zones. Some of these Marines are going to start getting a really good jump onto the Colossi. The Zoomy boys get a jump and they get a kill. And Clem's going to jump for another Colossus as well. He is going to grab that too. Now his tanks have been kind of left behind, but he's doing pretty well with the mines. They planted very well. Wow, that mine shot was really good too. As we try to get away, will we save the last few units here? Looks as though we will. Man, both players lost a lot. MaxPax lost pretty much all of his tech. He's left with Zealot Stalker. Clem has to reset too. He lost all his mines. He lost all of his siege tanks. So his splash damage taken out of the equation and now no longer a thing. As that bio moves back up through the middle once again, pushing these Stalkers back still for a moment. Zealots will unload. A few of these SCVs continue to come through. I'm going to see that Prism sets up into the main base, going to charge forward. A couple of these Marines already going down. And apparently that's just too much. Wow, Clem not able to rebuild on the back of this. MaxPax will stop Clem and the 4-0. And that is going to be